Hello and welcome to this podcast. The subject of the podcast will be on 9/11. Okay? 9/11 happened when two planes crashed into the World Trade Center. It was either 201, never confirmed it, but that's practically how it happened. But before that, let's talk about the importance of the World Trade Center. Well, just like the Statue of Liberty down in New York, the World Trade Center was used as a symbol of peace. It even got its own slogan, Peace Through Trade, which I believe it got this slogan because Britain was about to get into a war. Then a group of business people decided to invest, which may have prevented the war from happening. So that's good on them. And now we shall continue to, now that we've talked about its importance. Oh, yeah, before I forgot, it was also an important place that housed many people. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it had enough spaces to fit over 10,000 people in a building and had enough food to feed an entire town. I know in the process of learning about 9/11, this might not be as important as when most people talk about it, if you're mainly talking about those tragic things that happened. Okay? Now we moved on from talking about the importance to how it changed after the attack. Normally I'll say this would be tricky, but it is. But what I meant to say was its effect on the US economy. So 9/11 actually caused a 0.11% in unemployment rate. I don't remember the exact number or amount in which it said that people were unemployed, but that was the rate in which it caused, and actually caused a lowering in the GPD of, well, the US economy. Weird. I guess from there we're gonna move on to the next subject. What was the reason behind the attack? Based on the bit of research done, seems like the cause of 9/11 was, well, people not wanting American influence at a certain area, specifically Afghanistan, Afghanistan, Afghanistan. Give me a second. I need to figure out how to say this word. Okay. Like I was saying, it was because people didn't want American influence in their country, specifically the area we're talking about is Afghanistan. Okay, you're gonna have to hear from this.
Afghanistan.
Yeah, Afghanistan. From Afghanistan. And a few sources, be more specific, one or two, says that it also has something to do with the assassination of an Egypt president, and also a revolution, and what they believe to be an invasion of some sort. Okay then. Now we play a little ad. Nah, we don't need that. But we move on to the next subject. How the falling of the World Trade Center changed the building of buildings and also securities. Okay, this is quite an easy one. Well, part of it is easy. The other part, there's a bit of research needed to be done. In terms of security, for most of you who's gone to the airport and have been to the airport, have you ever wondered why you have to drop your stuff inside an x-ray machine, then walk through a scanner that scans what you have on you? Well, it's because of 9/11. Due to a minimum risk of something like that happening again, they decided to add some restrictions in the airline industry. So you're not able to carry some stuff or certain item in a plane. That's to prevent another case of 9/11 and to also prevent the building of an explosive in a plane. You have to walk through x-ray. 9/11. The airport people have to look through all your stuff. 9/11. I'm not sure if this was caused by 9/11, but this is partly my own opinion. Well, how hard it is for people to get into the country, or I wouldn't exactly say discrimination, but how it's harder for some people from certain areas to get in than it is for some people from certain areas too. 9/11 has a role to play in that as well. That's my opinion. Okay, now we move on to our next subject. Oh, no, we still haven't finished on this one. How did 9/11 change the building of buildings? Okay. Well, my voice is gonna cut off for a second, and we'll see you when we're right back. In terms of buildings in 9/11, I wasn't able to find much or the more specific the information that I was looking for, but I did read in a website that it had an increased security. So just like in an airport, you gotta scan stuff to be able to enter to a building. And practically almost do the same thing you do at an airport. You scan. Oh, and you also have to check your ID. Pretty interesting. So like you're going to an airport where you scan your stuff to make sure you don't have anything bad and you're checking your ID just to see or to, well, know if you have any business doing there. Quite an interesting thing that happened because of an event. Okay. Here comes the sad part. Well, although we did skip one part, which was describe and talk about how it changed after the attack, or how the World Trade Center changed after the attack. Okay, let's do this. For one, it was, well, gone. And with the building gone, I guess a whole bunch of stuff are gone. A symbol, and also a reduction in both employment and unemployment rate, which I already said so. and really interesting. Okay, now we finally move on to the last one. The last one is talk about the people who were involved in the 9/11 in the building and the plane and the person who planned it. Ah, okay. And what's called, I believe, also Aladdin? Wait, give me a second. Talk about the people who were involved in the 9/11 building and the plane and the person who planned it. Okay. I believe the person who planned 9/11 was someone named Osu Aladdin. But I might not be saying his name right, or, well, I'm completely saying his name wrong. So give me a moment to check. Turns out that also Aladdin might not be involved. Based on a slight bit of research, I know it says that Wikipedia isn't an exact good source for information like this. But Kali Shaki Muhammad, that's what they said. Well, who they said was responsible for the attack or the mastermind based on two websites. Okay, now we've completed one part of the last part. Playing. Oh, yeah. Well, during the time of 9/11, about 2,996 people lost their lives during the time period. Sad. Many people with their lives and future all taken away from them. It's not as big as a war where millions can be gone, but it does have its impact. After all, most will risk one, while the life of millions just for the life of one. I guess I would. Okay then. Oh, and apart from 9/11, I believe there were two other planes that one was going to Washington D.C., but was stopped by the plane inhabitants, and another one I'm currently unsure of where it went, but it was either reached its target or was swayed away. I don't remember what happened, but those are the other two events and the end credits, the final 10. Okay. War actions being taken to prevent terrorism from other nations to the US? Well, you got airplanes, since the US is kind of like a bordered nation. By kind of, I don't mean that it's bordered. It has good power with the nation on top of it. Then it's quite a bit of a distance from nations around it. So the attack could never really come. But part of what people have been done to prevent that, like I said, airplanes, FBI, and spies. Oh, and special investigation forces or units. So that means people who, at a notice of a possible threat, go out to investigate it before it becomes an actual problem, even if the situation isn't a threat or a problem. Okay. And something that I've learned from this was how many people were gone during the 9/11 time. And also the reduction in both the US GDP, the US economy, and also the increase in unemployment rate. There are other information that I'd like to add, but I'm already above time. And apart from being above time, I would like to, well, I guess that's a story for another day. Well, if it's a story at all. Oh well, see you all soon, and bye. Dudum, 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 dum. Dum. Yes, this is the end.